Hey, hi everybody. We're here live at the Yuba Main Library podcast studio, and I'm here with my guests, Brooklyn and Julia from Golden Hour Lactation.
Hello.
Thank you guys for being here. It's an honor to have you. And as you guys know, our show is the One Self podcast, and we cover 7 categories of overall wellness from emotional, financial, physical, spiritual, environmental, social, and fun. So today I want to know a little bit about your journey of entrepreneurship and healthcare as well. And what inspired you to launch Golden Hour Lactation?
Yeah, so I don't think that, well, at least not my long-term dream was never to be an entrepreneur. I don't know about you, but I always knew I was going to be a nurse. And I worked in labor and delivery, postpartum, and then lactation. And Brooklyn worked in postpartum as well as a nurse and lactation. And we saw the need for this business when we were lactation consultants, and so we decided to just go ahead for it.
Yeah, we ran with it. We saw a need in the community, and just being moms in general, I feel like you have that emotional tie to other moms already.
Absolutely.
So it was like, you know what, let's just do it. And it's been great ever since. So.
That's awesome. And
we wanted to do more. So we were helping moms a lot in the hospital setting, but we saw how we could help more.
Absolutely.
And in their own setting and at their convenience.
Correct. So you're a mobile business, like you can go to them.
Yeah, we come to you, which makes it so much nicer too. You know, you don't have to try to leave your home.
Correct.
Whether you're pregnant or you just had a baby, it's either way, it's really hard to kind of get around in those days. So.
And we're doing virtual too. So really we're just trying to cater to people in whatever way is convenient for them. So if they want us to come to their house and they're local, we do that. If they live in Wisconsin, we can do virtual.
That's great. That's great. That's amazing. I love that. And guys, they're also really good friends. So that goes to show that if you have an idea and if you're inspired to do something, you can. And it's about having that trust in your partner, your business partner, your friend. And that's great that Golden Hour has come together full circle with all their experience. So another question I have, why do you begin lactation prep in your 3rd or 4th semester? Semester, guys. I'm thinking about school over here. Okay.
So 3rd trimester being the end of pregnancy, right? We really want to get people in so they feel prepared and empowered and informed. The biggest thing, you know, you get to the hospital and you have no idea what is going on. What are your choices? All you know is there's a little person that's about to come out of you and you're terrified, right?
Absolutely.
We want to take some of that terror away, right? Being educated and knowing what you can say yes and no to, what your choices are.
Absolutely.
I mean, you feel so much better when you know not so much what to expect, but what you can
say yes to, what you can say no to. When is the time to ask questions? When, you can always ask questions, but when is it a safe time to say no to what the interventions are? And when you need to just trust the healthcare professionals, and like when to be able to see if it's a true emergency or if you still have some more time to do things the way that you want to do it and trust your intuition.
That's where our nursing background really helps too, is because we've been there. Not only just being moms and being in that, you know, setting personally, but as professionals too. Like we've seen both sides of it, right?
Correct.
So that kind of sets us apart, is we have that nursing knowledge, so you can kind of get both answers from us.
Absolutely. That's great. Yeah. Obviously you've had a whirlwind of experience through nursing school, also like, being moms through it all, guys. They had babies and they was in study books, okay? So, and also being a businesswoman now, you have another role to play. Not only are you a wife, you are a mother, and then you have to constantly be learning.
Right.
Because some people have, like when they're nursing, they have that frustration. They're like, oh, I can't do it. I don't know how to do it. And that's why it's important for people like you in the community to educate them, because it's also education, guys. It's also about what you tell yourself and learning, because, being a new mother is not easy.
Right.
So,
and we want to be able to empower these women with the correct information, evidence-based information, but also knowing that if they feel differently than what maybe a medical provider is telling them or something like that, it's a safe space where they can say whatever they want to say. We're going to give our advice, but then we're going to cater to them with whatever they want to do. We're going to support them emotionally, physically, mentally, in whatever decision that they make. And we want to make sure that they're going into labor and into the hospital setting with all of the knowledge they can have to be able to be successful at breastfeeding without having to rely on a nurse or a lactation consultant or someone like that in the hospital.
Absolutely. Love that. I love that you guys are being the resourceful women to help the women that are struggling to see where they want to be, because I know it's a choice. I know lactation is a choice and breastfeeding is a choice, but obviously there's a lot of benefits of doing it, so which we're going to get into. So the next question is the benefits of nurturing naturally.
So we could do an entire podcast.
Oh my gosh, just on this. We could talk for an hour.
So we'll do some of the top reasons why you should breastfeed if you can and if you're willing to. I think probably just right out the gate, at least one of my favorites is the bonding, right?
Yeah.
So your baby exits the womb, they immediately know who their mom is. They know based off of their smell, the taste of their milk, they know that is their mother. So it increases their chance to thrive and to grow and to continue developing in that first hour, if not, a little bit longer to get them to the breast. So it's not just about, baby's hungry, we need to feed them, but there's so much more beyond it.
And also the nutritional part.
Oh my gosh.
It is the perfect nutrition. It is made exactly for your baby. No breast milk is the same.
Correct.
So the mom's body will make the breast milk exactly how it's supposed to be for their baby. So it reduces obesity, it reduces your risk for diabetes, asthma. Yeah, literally, like
there's a lot of
things. And it also has health benefits for the mom as well.
Yes, it does. It reduces your chance of cervical cancer.
Wow.
Which is crazy. You think just doing something like that. But then the bonding alone too.
Correct.
I mean, postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, like those are all real things.
Of course,
So there's, and that's just
That's
barely
just
scraping the surface of why it's so good.
Yeah. And then I also know that like some women aren't able to produce enough milk, and so there are ways to do like nutrition that helps with the process. So you just have to not give up, and ask for the help when you need it.
Exactly.
Like that's why there's individuals and professionals like them that can walk you through that.
Well, that's why you come see us when you're pregnant, so we can get that going.
Yes.
But it's so much more than, I know we're called Golden Hour Lactation. We are so much more than just the lactation part of it.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
It's all perinatal consulting. So it's during pregnancy. We're going to talk about your labor, your delivery, your postpartum, what your own body is going to go through,
of course,
newborn care,
and even teaching the support person how to be a good support for their partner during labor. So during those prenatal visits, we teach the dad or the sister, whoever the support person is, how to advocate for the mother during labor and postpartum and everything.
What is it that she wants? What is she okay with? What is she not okay with? Because if she's peak contraction and somebody's asking her a question, she's probably not going to respond.
Of course.
Not even going to hear the question.
So
exactly,
having whoever that is that's going to be with you knowing what you want too, you
Yeah.
know, so that way it is a wonderful experience
and
as best it can be.
it's a journey, guys. It's a journey. Like, like you might initially have problems with latching, and you, as a mother, new mother, is kind of like, oh, he's rejecting, but it's not. Sometimes it's your own mental
Right.
state
Right.
of like, okay, I know this is not going to be easy. This kid is new to the earth.
Yep.
We gotta work with this and find a way.
Yeah.
And so if there's a will, guys, there's always a way.
Yes.
So the way is contact.
Yeah. We are the way.
It's
Hello.
true. Honestly,
Direct
I
it
don't
this way.
I don't think we've ever been able to not help somebody.
Right.
Yep.
I don't think we've ever ran into an issue where we were just really stuck and couldn't help that person breastfeed.
Well, and that's what's so great about starting a business with your like-minded best friend.
Oh,
so even if I didn't
I
have
love
the
it.
answer,
I
I
love
could
that.
immediately call Julia and say, hey, what would you do in this situation? And then,
Correct.
you know, she has other ideas and things like that too.
Yeah.
So having two heads is better than one.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
In this situation.
Yeah, exactly. So my next question is related to hand expression, and how can parents practice, and when is the right time to know that your child is ready for breastfeeding, and just communicating that to your partner.
So it starts during pregnancy. So that's one of the things we teach in our prenatal class or our prenatal consultation. If you book with us while you're pregnant, we will teach you how to hand express, because that is one of the most important things to learn before having your baby.
Yeah, gotcha.
Because if you run into any issues while you're at the hospital, you run into any breastfeeding issues, most of the time you can hand express and get what baby needs that way and still give it to baby. And you don't need to do formula, and you don't need to do a bottle, and you don't have to use a pump.
Right.
Yeah.
Hand expression is a skill that every single mother should know how to do.
Of course. And you can't compare your journey, guys, to anybody else.
Yeah.
Just because one mom is getting more milk than the other, or maybe your first baby, you didn't have as much problems with getting milk to them. Yeah. You can't compare. You can't.
It's individualized.
Right.
Every mom is different. Every baby is different. And we know that, and we work towards that. We're flexible.
Exactly.
We change our interventions based on the person and their goals.
Right. We meet you where you're at, you know. Your situation's unlike anybody else's. You might have similarities to others, but that's not what we see, and we meet you where you're at. So
yeah, absolutely. And that's the benefit of having a specialist to consult with and say, hey, I'm in this road. I'm already talking to my medical providers. You guys are medical providers. But, the pediatricians can only tell you so much, and the nurses can only tell you so much. So it gets to the point where it's like, I want to make this change for myself and my child, right? So it just all boils down to how much do you want to do it? And if you want to do it,
there's a way.
There's a way. So that gets me to this question. How do you differentiate? Can't even talk English, guys. Differentiate the milk supply. Okay. How do you do that?
So this is probably the number one reason that most moms quit breastfeeding within the first 3 weeks, right? So understanding that there's different phases of breast milk,
correct,
and supply, knowing that ahead of time,
correct,
can save you so much anxiety, right? You're going to start with colostrum, and it's going to seem like the teeniest, tiniest little amount. You're going to see one little droplet, and you're going to say, that's not enough to feed my baby. And then you're going to pop a bottle in its mouth because you can see that, right? You can see the quantity.
Correct.
However, if you met Juliana, you would know that when your baby comes out, its little tiny belly is only the size of a marble. And it doesn't need very much.
Small.
5 to maybe 7 mLs maximum is all it needs. So you produce what your baby needs. And obviously that situation is different for everyone, right? If you experience some kind of trauma, maybe not.
Absolutely.
But 9 times out of 10, you are producing exactly how much your baby needs, exactly when your baby needs it.
Correct. And I think it's a feeling. I mean, I've never had kids, guys, but I know from my sister-in-laws, they're like, oh, it's getting hard over here. And I'm like, what's happening?
Right.
I don't know. But it's because they know that they waited this much time to feed their child, or the child was sleeping. But it's kind of like a feeling, I guess, that you guys get.
Yeah. So what she's talking about is a letdown, or engorgement. I mean, I'm not really there for that situation, but if the breast is hard, usually it's engorged, which means you're very full and you need to feed your baby.
Yes.
So, but all of these things are what we talk about, right?
Mhm.
So you know what to expect. So when you do get an odd feeling for the first time, you know what it is.
Yes.
Or if you still don't, even after we've told you, you just shoot us a text and say, hey,
Yes.
what's going on? Or
Yes.
hey, can I get a virtual? Hey, can I get it in person?
Correct.
Regardless, we are there every step of the way.
Yeah, and you know, there's pumps for a reason. You know, you can go to the restroom if you're at work, or there's ways around it.
Yeah.
There is ways around it.
Don't pump in a restroom.
Unless it's
Hygiene.
your own.
If you have to. I mean, I guess if you're like getting ready in the morning and you're wearing like a wearable, maybe I don't know the situation. Don't use a public bathroom.
Yeah.
To
And you
pump.
don't have to.
Right.
You know,
Yes,
like
correct.
some people might make you feel like you have to. You don't have to. If you feel like that's the only place where you can pump, there's
Legally,
other
in the state of
options.
Arizona, there has to be a designated area for you to pump, just so you know.
Correct. So, yeah. Anyways, let's move on to a lighter
know.
topic, guys.
All the tangents.
How do you support postpartum depression and anxiety?
This is a really good one.
Yeah.
So this is actually part of our mission and our vision, and like in the long run, is we see how issues with breastfeeding affects your mental health.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
easily and very fast, and before you even know it.
Makes
So
sense,
it's immediately when baby's born and you have that first issue with breastfeeding, it messes with your mental state. And it just snowballs into this
Of
big
course,
thing, and
yeah,
before you even know
yeah.
what you're dealing with, you're into postpartum depression,
Wow.
anxiety. So we want to be able to be there from the beginning to know what's your normal state, what's
Of
your
course,
normal
of course.
emotional state,
Of course.
and we can notice those differences in you probably before you even really realize what's going on. And we can
Recognize all
help
the
you with
signs.
the breastfeeding, help you with, you know, if you're having any physical or mental
Correct.
things going on, you can text us, you can call us, you do a visit, jump on a virtual visit, and we will talk you through it so that you don't have to feel like you're alone and that nobody can help you.
Absolutely.
And you know,
Yeah.
Google has some of the answers, but Google doesn't know the
Dr.
person.
Google
Yeah,
does
no, I'm
not
not a big
exist.
fan of Dr. Google.
Google doesn't know that person specifically and
Absolutely.
individually, and everybody's
Absolutely.
different. Every situation is different. You could
Absolutely.
Google something about breastfeeding, and it's going to give you a generic answer.
Mhm.
But we're going to ask those questions
Yep.
to get down to the deeper.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And then
That's great.
educating the support person. Hopefully you have a support person,
Mhm.
but the person that you spend the most time with, aside from your baby, is going to recognize those
Oh, yeah.
symptoms beforehand too. So
Absolutely.
if they recognize those symptoms and they understand what they are, they know to call us,
Yeah.
you know, and so we can help walk them through it and how to deal with it, you know, so it's not so scary for everybody.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. So, if you had to give like one practical tip for expecting parents to prepare for breastfeeding, what would that one tip be? I know there's many tips, but this
Go ahead,
is one.
Julia. I know you're
Just
chomping
one.
at the bit for this one.
It will, yeah, we already kind of talked about it.
Yeah.
It would be the hand expression. It would be practicing hand expression and knowing how to do that without even having to think about it while you're pregnant.
That's awesome. That's hand expression, guys.
We can show you how to do it.
And you want more information, you could just call them up. They'll
Yeah.
let you know. So are there any tools, apps, journal support groups out there for building confidence when you're trying to breastfeed?
Oh, heck yeah. So my favorite tool, I guess, is the Haka. If you don't know what it is, Google it, look it up. It's a little silicone suction cup that goes on your breast. It can be used for so many different situations. That could be a whole other podcast.
Yeah.
But as far as support groups, we have a mommy meetup that anyone is
awesome.
welcome to
Yes.
join
That's
too.
cool.
We
Free
free
peer
I mean,
support.
you can
That's
bring
great.
if you have older children. I mean, everyone is welcome, and it's not just to talk about lactation. I mean, it's a actual mother support group. So if you wanted to just come and make a friend, you got that too.
Yeah,
So
That's great.
it's on all of our social media. So
Yeah,
That's
and we're
awesome.
bringing in other professionals to cover other topics that we might
makes
not
it
know that much
so
about.
fun.
Yeah.
Makes it
Yeah.
so fun, educational, plus a way to meet other people.
yeah,
So,
and just know what resources are available
Exactly,
to you. You
yeah,
know, if you're
exactly.
local.
exactly.
Sorry if you're not.
Maybe it's time to do virtual.
I know, a virtual mommy meetup.
Yeah, you never
You know,
know.
honestly, that might be something to look into.
Yeah, yeah. So, how do you envision expanding your services for emotional health or community outreach?
So we actually talked about this earlier, something I've been thinking about for a while, creating an e-course that people can download and kind of learn at their leisure, right? So anyone, anywhere, at any point in time can have access to it. You can speed through the stuff you don't want to know about and save the things that you do. So I think that's kind of our next direction, is making an actual e-course that you can just have at your fingertips.
Awesome. I guess that answers my next question, which was upcoming programs, courses.
There we go.
They're definitely doing that, guys.
Yeah.
And what's one essential item you think you need to have in your lactation kit?
Oh, well, shoot, the haka.
The
Right
hot
back to it.
We
Yeah.
covered that too.
It's so good. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm telling you,
We're getting down to the wire, so rapid fire.
Okay.
A good go-to affirmation or mantra you suggest for tired new parents?
I think taking a breath. Everyone experiences some kind of anxiety,
Yes.
regardless of what's happening. Not knowing what is going on, what's normal, what's not.
Mm-hmm.
Take a breath.
Yes. My 4-year-old niece tells me sometimes. She goes, I guess she got it from a cartoon, Peppa Pigs or something.
Oh.
But it says, take a deep breath and count to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
There you go.
And it helps.
That's popular with Daniel Tiger too.
And I was like, Auntie, have you touched grass? No, my sister says, have you touched grass? And my niece goes, take a deep breath and count to 4. And she's 4.
It works though.
Yeah.
It does.
It's calming yourself down, finding your center,
Yep.
so you can think about something in not such an anxious state.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you can call me or text me and then ask me what it is that you're
Yes.
being anxious about.
Absolutely, absolutely. So my bonus question, which you guys didn't know about, is I ask everyone this: what inspires you daily?
I think just the passion, that you have for this. We both started out, I even started out as a doula before I was even a nurse.
Oh, wow.
But I knew what I wanted to do from a very early age. In kindergarten, they ask what you want to be when you grow up, and I always said a mom. So something related to babies.
Of course,
So knowing that I am now currently finally doing what I want and what I love,
Of course.
That's your reason why,
And you've always had that spirit inside you to say you wanted to do more. So, and you too. So,
and I've always thought opposite of the saying. What's that saying? If you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
I
believe
did
that.
not agree with that at all. I was like, no, I'd rather just never work. but now with doing this, it feels so good after you help somebody do this. Like for us, it's a true passion.
When we leave somebody's house, we immediately call each other and we're like,
we talk
how did
about
it go?
it.
And it's like, oh my God, it was the best thing ever.
And I would do this for free. If I was a
my
millionaire, I would do this for free. For
If I won the lottery,
It's your
like, this
passion.
would be my hobby. This is what
It's
I
your
love to
passion.
do. This is how I would spend my time regardless. So.
Definitely. So, guys, if you want more information about them, this is Julia, and this is her business partner, Brooklyn.
Best friend of
BFF.
20 years.
20 years, yeah.
Wow, that's
I know.
great. That's awesome. This is their website, guys.
Yeah.
goldenhourlactationllc.org. You can get all the information, learn more about them, book an appointment. It's all available there. And you can follow them at goldenhourlactationllc.com is the website, and at goldenhourllc is
.org is the website.
.org. Okay,
This is
.org.
Instagram,
But
this is
this is
Facebook.
Instagram.
Yeah, there you go. There's the .org. And this
I
is
think we have TikTok now too.
We do.
That's great. They do, guys. Follow them. They always give some amazing advice and really awesome content. And if you want to see the replay, you can go to At One Self Consulting on YouTube and Facebook. And here's my website to learn more. All right, have a good night. This has been the One Self podcast. Thank you, ladies, for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having
A
us.
lot.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to send people your way
Yeah.
and learn more through your journey.
Yeah. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
We appreciate
All right.
it.
We love you, One Self followers, and we'll see you on another episode. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. Good night.